It's day 5, it's late summer, and hopefully we will be able to start harvesting today. Hello again, I am Jim Bob, and welcome back to Seasons in the Valley. Just grabbing our eggs. How many eggs do we actually have in stock now, I wonder? I'm curious. 232 in our backpack, that's not too bad. Looks like we'll do a single sell-off of eggs every year. So we'll do that in spring. So let's take a look around. I've had a little bit of a reorganise actually around the yard. Obviously I carried on doing a bit of logging at the end of the last episode to run out the last few hours of the day. Got another couple of stands done, so nice stack of logs all prepped and ready and waiting. And I've moved some equipment and left it over there. So you can see I've now moved our telehandler into here. There is the bale grab, there's the weight for it. The wood chipper is now over at the lumber mill because we'll need that in the winter. And then over here I've also cleared out, as you can see, all the equipment from our skid steer. That's now based over at the sawmill as well. We decided, obviously we were going to do bales by using our telehandler, so it kind of made the skid steer irrelevant up here, but it's definitely useful down at the sawmill. So that's going to live down there now, and all the tools that are for it, the log grab, the saw and the stump grinder, they've all been put down there as well. So I'm just going to take a quick look in our T6. Oh, we need to put some more fuel in this thing. This thing is pretty much bone dry. I'm going to take a run up to our fields, take a little drive around and check. I'm hoping that that grass is going to be ready as well, so that we can get that last field mowed and baled. Got those silage bales that we can look at as well. They should be just about ready to sell now, hopefully. There we go. Stocked up on fuel. I suppose I could leave those doors open, really. Nah, we'll close them. Right. Let's quickly check on our way around. Let's check the bales that we've got stacked up over here. So I need the Wopster. Let's scan this stack. This is the original stack. And there you can see these are full silage bales. Let's check these ones. These are the second ones that we did, the second cut, so to speak. And these are silage bales as well. Let's check the couple that are around the back, just to make sure. Excellent. So we have, let's see, they're in stacks of 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 12, 24, 26 silage bales that we can sell. Doesn't seem that many really, does it? When you when you look at it, it's just 26. But let's continue driving around the farm and take a look at the rest of our stuff. See that grass? Is that starting to grow back? I think it might be. Let's do a quick scan. You can see it's at 67% height already, so it's growing back. It means we might, if we have time, once we've got the harvesting done, we might be able to get a second cut. That'll be quite useful. And let's go inspect our fields over here. So you can see there are crops still showing as though they're grown. Let's drive over to here. It looks as though this grass field is now available. Field 62. Again, we'll scan it just to make sure. And yeah, there you can see 100% height and only 7% moisture, so definitely we can get a good yield off this field. That means that these crops might be ready as well. Let's scan these. And there you go, our barley is ready. Which means our wheat should be ready, and possibly our canola as well. Let's check the wheat. Yes, the wheat is ready for harvest, so just the barley, just the canola left to check. We'll quickly run down and do that. You can see that darker texture there for the custom crop texture. And the canola is also ready. So all of our crops down here are now ready to grow, to be harvested. We're going to start off, we're going to get this small field here mowed and baled first. We'll whiz through that, and then once that's done, we'll break out the harvester and we'll start harvesting our crops. Oh, and just to give you an update on that check we did on the grass, you can see in our silo we still have 2,984 litres of grass. So our grass is protected in there. It hasn't rotted. It's been in there for 3 days now. At least 2, maybe 3 days. So by rights it should have gone by now, but it's still there. So your grass will be protected in that silo. In fact, I think you can even store it in the main farm silo. If I remember rightly, this does take everything. So who knows, maybe we might end up getting rid of our other silo up there. It's not going to give us a huge amount of money. It only costs like 25 grand. And I do like the convenience of being able to drive in and through rather than, you know, backing in and then driving back out again with some of the other places. But I don't know, I might keep it, I might get rid of it. Let me know what you want to do in the comments, if you think we should get rid of it and just use the main silo here at the farm. I mean, that does have 800,000 litres of storage. Or do you want us to relocate it? Do you want us to maybe move one of those silos and store wood chips over at the sawmill? We could do that. Let me know what you want to do in the comments, and we'll go with that. But first, we are going to get our mowing underway. And I want to get this done first because, as I say, there is that slight chance that we might be able to get a second cut from some of our fields, and if we can include this field in that as well, all the better. So let's lower the mower. So that was already unfolded. Lower, turn on. Turn on. We'll actually use this bit of border here as well. Leave that little verge on the edge of the track until we get to the hedge. Now we have to kind of move in. This field won't take us very long to do at all. Obviously the baling and the wrapping will be a little bit more time consuming, but the actual mowing itself shouldn't take very long at all. There you can see that little track inside the sheep pen where we did our grass test for the silo. So I'm just going to quickly whiz through around here, and once this is done we'll grab the baler, we'll make the bales, and then we'll wrap them as silage bales. So I'll see you in just a moment. Couldn't quite get it all. Just get that last little piece on the edge. There we go. I think I missed a spot. Just there. There we go. Right, so field is mowed. It's a nice little amount of grass. Nothing too over the top. Let's get that rode up. And ooh, we've got hay bales, haven't we? We haven't got any silage to keep, so I'm actually going to keep this silage. So we're going to wrap this with black wrap, so that I know that this is silage that we want to store, just in case we do get into dairy next year. It means we'll have a little bit of silage and a little bit of hay to make TMR, and obviously we'll be doing some straw baling once we get our harvesting done. Well, I'm pretty sure that the hay, like the hay, the straw isn't going to start rotting the second we cut it. It's not like grass in that respect. But we do need to kind of act a bit quickly to get everything done. Especially while the weather's so nice as well. I want to try and hopefully we're not going to get any rain today. I want to try and get, you know, all 3 of those fields done, or at least a couple of them. We've still got more crops still to come, don't forget. We still have our soybean and our corn, I think it was. I think it was corn that we planted. But we still have those 2 crops up at the top of the farm, the top of the map to harvest. They are still growing because we planted those a lot later in spring. So we can give ourselves a bit of a time boost by getting these 3 fields done, or at least a couple of these fields done today. Then that'll certainly help us out when it comes to the end of autumn and we potentially have the chance to do some more grass work. Oh, I need to row all this up, don't I? I forgot about them. Forgot to get my windrower. Alright, let's go grab that now. I suppose it does make sense to have the baler up there ready. There's the windrow. There's that bale grab. You can see I've got it positioned this time. We'll be using that when we wrap our bales. We won't need it for our straw bales because the auto load trailer will pick those up really, really easily. Right, so quick whiz around the field with the windrower, then the baler, then the wrapper, and then the bale trailer to load everything up, and then we can move on to the harvest. So I'll see you in a moment. So our bales have all been, well, baled and wrapped. And as you can see, we're now stacking these up. We're not going to faff around putting these into the storage bin. We'll do that off camera. But I am going to just get them all stacked up and then just leave them in a pile on the edge of the field. Or maybe back down in the yard somewhere. And then I'll load those into storage at the end of the day. These will sit there ready for when we do livestock, if we do move into sort of cows next year, or if we don't, then we can obviously just sell those at a later time as well. But I wanted the black ones to simulate, you know, silage for storage rather than you know, stuff for sell. Going forward, what I'm going to do is if we can wrap straw bales, because I want to see if we can do that as well, then we'll probably wrap straw in white and sell, you know, bales to sell we'll wrap in pink. I don't know, maybe we'll see how that goes. But yeah, there we go, that's it. That is the end of our baling that we needed to get done. So we're going to swap out for the T7. We're going to grab our trailer our big Brantner trailer, and we're going to start doing some harvesting. So let's park up. There we go. Let's switch over to the T7. I think we'll start with the canola. So there's our combine. We'll be using that for the first time today. Looking forward to that. And this trailer should be big enough, I think. I have absolutely no idea what kind of yield we're going to get off our combined field, but I'm hoping it's going to be more than one trailer's worth, although somehow I kind of doubt it will be. But that would be nice. So let's pull this up out of the way. Hopefully there's enough clearance room for our combine there. I think it might be pushing it a little bit actually. Let's try and back up to the edge of the field without getting onto the field. There we go. Let's quickly run back, grab the combine, and bring that down this bumpy dirt track. Been looking forward to this stage of our calendar year for quite some time. You're actually finally getting onto the field with a combine and harvesting. All that work we did earlier in the year is now hopefully about to pay off in, in dividends. I have absolutely no idea how long it's going to take us to do the harvest with this combine either. It's not the biggest of headers, but it is, I think, an appropriately sized header. Not too big, not too small. Yeah, considering this is a starter combine. I didn't want us to go with a huge oversized combine straight away, because the only other New Holland combine obviously is the CR1090. That's a little bit too big, I felt, for us to start with. Yeah, something to aspire towards once we get more fields and have larger crop volumes to work with. So we need to unfold. And let's do a headland. Not so much of an issue just here, but it will definitely be an issue over there, as you can see, with the fence. And I'm actually just going to cut straight across here, because I want to run up and down the field as we did when we planted. I think it'll make it easier. And we will be using a worker to help us out with parts of the harvest. We'll do some of the harvesting manually, and we'll get a worker to help us out with other bits, especially when the combine is starting to get full and we need to unload it. We'll get a worker in the combine, and we'll run the T7 with a trailer to do the unloads. That way we keep the harvest going. But yeah, like I say, I've been looking forward to this part of our calendar year for quite some time now. Finally getting the T7 out and on the farm, on the field. Not the T7, sorry, the TC590. I'm going to try and do a little bit of it in cab as well, but I want to get this this corner section out of the way first. Once this is done, we can then continue our headland, and then we can start running up and down the field. We've been really good with workers so far. We've hardly used any at all. I've used them sparingly, little bits here and there, mainly just when I've been trying to get certain camera shots, but for the most part we've done pretty much all of the work ourselves. just little bits that we've had to get some help with here and there, but essentially we've done everything so far, and I'm quite proud of that achievement. It's all too easy to just rely on workers, and it's something we're all guilty of. We all do it from time to time. We start out, I'm going to do this farm manually, I'm not going to do any workers, and then you hire the odd worker here and there, and then before you know it you just sit there and you're just hiring workers left, right and centre. And I want to try and keep this worker limited. We will end up using workers, especially as the farm grows. There's no way around that. It's going to happen. It's just we're not going to have enough time to do anything without them. But I do like the fact that we've been a bit more proactive on the farm so far, and I'd like to keep that continuing if I can. So we've got a nice little headland at this end. I think it's time for us to start running up and down. I am going to get a worker to do the first cut, just so I've got a straight line to work from, because otherwise I'm going to be all over the shop, all wonky. And I'll run this section here manually, and I'll hire once we get to the edge of this that bend there where it starts to bend around to the right. That's where we'll get the worker to take over. See those shadows bouncing off the side of the combine there. Already you can see, look, just a quick little scenic shot I tried to get, and immediately we stepped in, or stepped off the field slightly. There we go. We are up and running with the combine. So, I'm going to let this guy run for a bit. We'll do some unloading, and we'll see how long it takes us to do this. It's just gone 9:15, so wonder what time it'll be when we finally finish on this field. Okay, so we've done our first unload. I'm trying to do a little bit in cab here. Hopefully I can keep a pretty straight line along here, not miss any bits along the edges. I am slightly worried that, yep, that's what I was worried about, that I was going to miss bits. Go. I'm going to attack that section next as well. Just wanted to get this nice kind of wide section in here for us to turn around in. What I've also done is I've cleared out that far corner just over there as well. I did a little headland around the side of the bottom of the field just to get away from the road a little bit more, give us a little bit more turning room. And then took that little angled piece off the edge there as well, so again we have a straight line to work from on the other side of the field. Alright, obviously we're not quite far enough away from the road. We'll have to probably put another headland in just to avoid that happening again. But yeah, let's run up this side. Let's clear out this section now. So we've been running for an hour in game anyway, not a real hour, but yeah, running for an in-game hour already. Haven't achieved a huge amount off this field yet in terms of amount of harvesting done, so it's gonna take us a while. I don't know if we're actually gonna have time to do another field after this. I hope we do. I really do. I would like at least to I'd like to at least get another field done, but I'm wary about doing one of our fields which needs straw baling afterwards in case we get, and then leaving that straw out overnight, because if we get wet weather then that straw's ruined. I'm very, very aware of that fact, and don't want to sort of lose a whole load of potential straw. Let's check the forecast. See, it just gives us the overall theme for the day. We've got good sunny weather predicted for the next few days, but it doesn't mean we won't get a rain shower at some point. And obviously you can see it's going to get wet into into autumn. We are definitely going to have some wet weather around there, so that's something else we need to be wary of as well. The straw kind of needs to be off the field. If we are going to leave it out, it needs to be off the field by the third day of autumn, by that Monday. Otherwise, it's going to start rotting once it gets wet. Okay, so that's this side piece done. Now we can get back to the straight up and down on this field, and this is where the worker is going to take over for us, just to help us out. I'm going to do a preemptive emptying here. There's only 2,500 litres in here. One thing I didn't think of as well was I didn't actually check when I bought this trailer to see whether or not it would fit underneath the arm of the combine. Luckily it does, but it's pretty tight. And we definitely made the right decision by bringing this one onto the field and not the other, larger trailer, because there's no way that one would fit. So that's something you need to be wary of when you do pick trailers, and you want good sized, good capacity trailers, but you have a small combine. You need to think ahead and maybe even do a check before you commit, to make sure that the trailer you've bought will actually fit underneath the arm of the combine. It's going to give us a nice clean straight line to work from here, so we're not turning into traffic at the end of each pass. There we go. That section there will keep us busy for a little while. Just clean up this section just here, and then we'll be running back up and down the field again. So while the combine is running away on the field for us, I figured this would be a great opportunity for us to quickly just weed this field, get the fertilization level up a little bit more, just in case we are able to actually get a second cut on this field before the year ends. And if we can't, well, that fertilizer application should carry across to next year, so it's one less field that we'll need to retreat in the spring. Muddy even be able to see the combine working in the background. Yep, there it is, look. That's how much of the field we've covered so far, obviously with those little extra bits that we've done, sort of like that little headland along the side of the fence there. So far it's been enough. Obviously it may need to be widened a little bit more, and then obviously down the bottom you can see that section there, and on the far corner by those trees you can see there's that corner section that we trimmed as well. But seems to be running pretty well so far. I'm not going to have time to do this whole field before I need to empty the combine again, so I'm just going to do a lap here, complete this lap, then we're going to jump in the T7 and go and empty the combine again. Oh, and there's the warning, 80% fill warning. We knew that was coming. So let's engine off, run over to the T7. Just see the trailer coming into shot there behind the hedgerow. We're up to just under 20,000 litres in the trailer already, so it's not a bad return so far. If I can get somewhere between 40 and 50,000 litres, I'll be very, very happy. This trailer has a capacity of, I think, 33,000. It's in the 30s anyway, 33, 34, somewhere around there, so I have no doubt we'll end up filling this trailer, but if we can get up to about 50,000 off this field, I'll be very happy with that indeed. That'll be a nice, good amount that we can then sell and raise some funds. I'm going to check the pricing actually when we get to the end here. Let the combine finishes empty. Let's have a look. Canola. So we're actually kind of the worst possible time to sell canola right now. We're looking at sort of midwinter when we'll get a good return for it. So this will just sit nicely in our silo until that point. But we're getting a good couple of passes. I think we're getting 4 passes before we need to unload. So plenty of time to get this grass field finished off. That first little grass field is done, but we've got this grass field here as well. We can weed this one. Again, yeah, we might as well get this done out of the way now while we have the opportunity. There's only so much we can do ourselves. You know, obviously at this time of year it would be in reality all hands on deck with hired workers to pull in the harvest. So I don't feel bad about us using a worker, you know, to run the combine. That's kind of a necessity really when you play in single player. Obviously in multiplayer then one can run the harvester, one can run the truck or trailer for the unloading, and if you've got anyone else joining they can do other jobs at the same time. Maybe you could even run multiple combines, but you know, I don't have that luxury unfortunately. It is just me and the AI, so this enables me to actually make sure that we don't end up with too many jobs all stacking at once. The grass is going to roll back to stage 2 over the winter, so I do really need to make sure that it's all fertilised and ready to cut, just in case we can get that second cut in before winter sets in. I think we probably will be fine to do that, and then it's just a question if we have the time and if the weather allows us to do it. But it would be nice to get some additional bales into storage, you know, get some more silage bales made for selling, some more for storage, and make some more hay bales as well. We're going to end up with plenty of straw bales as well, so we do need to be very wary of the 200 bale limit as well, although I have heard rumours that the bale limit might have been upped to 250. Some people have been saying that they have gone past 200 bales and still not hit a limit at that point, so maybe the bale limit has been increased. I don't know if that is the case. I haven't seen any definitive proof that that is the case. But maybe, depending on how much straw we end up with, we might actually be in a position to test that. Who knows? Just drifted away from the combine slightly there. And now we're blocking him. There we go. I say him, it's actually a her that's driving. It's a she. It is. There she is. But we're pretty close to capacity on this trailer. We're at 90%. So I'm going to go and tip this into our silo right now. First trailer's load of harvest being deposited into our silos. It's kind of a monumentous occasion, really. Certainly a landmark occasion on our farm, our first bit of grain being brought in. And there it goes, into the silos. And this trailer is absolutely perfect for this farm in terms of the height clearance issues. You know, there are no height clearance issues because it's a power push, so it doesn't tip. I love that. Really, really excellent choice of trailer, I think, for this particular farm, given that particular silo type there. Starting to get to the business end of this field. Just got a section here now that's a little bit too rough for our worker to effectively get. So we're going to make this a little bit bigger, this headland here, and try and shallow out the angle a little bit as well. You can see the fence moves away from the field a bit more as it goes along, so we're just kind of straightening out this line a bit, making it a little bit less severe. There we go, and you can see we haven't got a lot of the field left to go, but there's still a fair amount of crop left. So what I'm going to do now is going to manually do the next sort of awkward section. There's our straight line that we're going to sort of run against. And we're going to take this corner section out so that we're left with just this strip here that needs to be finished off. That's the corner section done, so now we've got a nice, in theory, a nice straight run up and down the field to finish. And I may as well work this section here a little bit as well. Again, just shallow that angle off a bit. Make it a little bit more friendly for our worker. I can turn the beacons off again now that we're away from the roadside. There we go. So that's what's left. That section there is all we have left to harvest. Shouldn't take us too much longer now. Last little bit of the field to go. We've been running for over 6 hours. You know, it is quite a big field and not the biggest of combines, so it has taken us quite some time. I don't think we're going to get the chance to do another field of harvesting today, but We do still have another grass field that needs to be weeded, so we can get that done at the very least, and then our grass fields will be taken care of. We just need to do one more stage of fertiliser on the one that we mowed today. That's currently at stage 2 now. First stage for being mowed, second stage for when we weeded it. So we'll be able to get that one up to stage 3 pretty quickly. The second field that we did, field 83, that sort of field that was already grass, that's now stage 3 as well. So it's also at 67% growth height. So that one is looking like we are going to be able to mow and bale that field again before the end of the year. And it'll be the same with the field by the pigs. That's currently at stage 2, and stage 67% also of growth height as well. So we can weed that to stage 3, and then assuming that one grows back as well, which if 83 does, then that one will as well, we'll be able to get a second cut on that one, and it'll be at stage 3 ready to go as well. So it's looking pretty good. We'll actually get larger yields the second time as well, because obviously the first time those fields weren't ploughed, but by mowing we have gained that extra 10% on the areas that we mowed. So we'll get a slightly larger volume of grass second time around, which is good. And there we go, that's it. This field is done. It took us over 6 hours, but we have our first field completely harvested. We need to get that cultivated, I think, at the end of autumn, before the winter, so that when spring comes around next year we can go straight to planting. Whereas, we have to spend time ploughing and everything first this time out. So, how much crop did we end up with? Let's find out. Got 18,000 litres in here. I think, what was it, 32,000 litres that we put into storage? So that's the 50,000 that I wanted. That's awesome. Just bouncing our way along this dirt track here. Still got those bales to put away as well. I forgot about those. Down the ramp again. And there is our canola count going up. Of course, we had a little bit in storage already, didn't we? So we probably had around about 7,000 or 8,000 litres. So 58,741 litres. That's nice. That'll be worth a nice amount of money when we come to sell that in winter. So looking forward to that. Right, let's put the trailer away. We don't need that anymore. Not for today, anyway. Try and back up, even though I can't actually see where I'm going. That's not bad. A little close to the side wall. Let's try and reposition slightly. There we go. That'll do. Let's go grab the header trailer. Take that over to the combine. Get the combine put away. And then after that, as I say, we'll take the T5 and the weeder back over to the pig farm. We'll weed that field, and then that'll probably be our jobs done for today. So tomorrow we're going to be attacking our straw fields, so our wheat and our barley. What I may well do, actually, again, it depends how long it's going to take us to do the baling. What I may well do is, if we do, let's see, field 52 is a pretty big field. It's certainly bigger than 91. We'll do that field tomorrow, and then we'll bale it straight afterwards, and we'll see how long that takes. And once we've got a good idea of that, if it's not going to take too long, then we'll have time to attack field 91 as well. And if not, at least we'll know you know, for future reference, just how long it's going to take us to kind of mow and harvest and bale a field with straw on it. Because if we were just harvesting and we didn't have straw to worry about, then we could comfortably harvest both of those fields tomorrow with nothing else to do. But with the baling included as well, that is going to make it a little bit more of an interesting dilemma time-wise. There we go, so onto the field, ready to do the weeding. You can see we've got, don't forget, we've got that strip of grass that we couldn't mow that's going to be coming up. Just see it there, along the edge of the hedge, that patch of darker grass. That is a bit of a disappointment that we couldn't quite get everything off the field. So not much point trying to weed that bit. It's already going to be at stage 3, and we can't mow it anyway, so we'll just run along the edge here. But and I was just thinking, actually, as I was driving along here, I was thinking I don't need to cultivate straight away or at the end of the month, because I want to play. I want to put some oilseed radish into the ground, give us a cover crop for next year, so that we'll get an extra sort of stage of fertilization into our fields without the need for quite so much spraying. Help reduce our costs a little bit. The cost of the seed will be considerably cheaper than the cost of the fertilizer for a field that size. So we'll get some oilseed radish planted, and who knows, if we're lucky, maybe that'll even grow before the winter, so we'll be able to cultivate that before winter sets in. If not, then it'll remain dormant over winter, and then we'll be able to, it'll grow in the spring, and we'll be able to cultivate it into the fields before we actually plant our next round of crops. And I kind of need to think what crops we're going to go with next as well. I suppose we could stick with something similar. I suppose it depends. We do need to start thinking about formulating a plan for year 2 of our farm, what we want to do, what we want to achieve, and how we want to achieve it. Obviously the plan is to increase the amount of fields that we have. That's going to be dependent on how much money I think we can raise over the winter and into the early spring with our crop sales and our wood sales and wood chip sales. And we have those silage bales as well, so we can raise a bit of cash that way. But yeah, that's going to be what determines just how quickly we can expand the farm next year, I think. So time for us to start putting our thinking caps on and making arrangements and making plans for the following year, as we are starting to close this one out pretty quickly if we're already starting to harvest. I'm going to carry on weeding this field and then head back to the farm. That'll be it for today. As I say, tomorrow we'll be back onto the farming, the harvesting again, getting our wheat field done with both the harvest and then the straw baling afterwards. And then beyond that, if we have time, we'll attack the barley as well. So until then, thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and we'll be back with some more Seasons in the Valley very soon.